Have you ever wondered if your sex drive is normal for your age? It's a question many of us ask, but the answer isn't as simple as a number on a chart. Sexual desire is a complex dance of hormones, psychology, social factors, and our physical health. It ebbs and flows throughout our lives, and what's normal for one person might be completely different for another. It's not a fixed line, but a constantly evolving part of who we are. So let's pull back the curtain and explore the fascinating journey of sexual desire through the decades, for both men and women. We'll look at the typical peaks, the surprising dips, and the many factors that shape this fundamental part of our lives. Understanding these changes can help us navigate our own experiences with more confidence and compassion. Let's start with the guys. When a man hits his 20s, it's often seen as his sexual peak, and there's some truth to that. This is when testosterone, the primary male sex hormone, is at its absolute highest. This surge of hormones fuels a strong, often frequent desire for sex. It's a time of exploration and high energy. However, it's not always smooth sailing. Surprisingly, younger men can sometimes struggle with performance anxiety or erectile issues. This isn't usually about a physical problem, but more about lack of experience, the pressure to perform, or psychological stress. It's a reminder that even when hormones are firing on all cylinders, the mind plays a huge role in sexual function. So while the drive might be in high gear, confidence and experience are still developing. Moving into the 30s and early 40s, a man's sex drive typically remains quite high and stable. Life is in full swing. Many are settling into careers, relationships, and perhaps starting families. While testosterone levels do begin as slow, gradual decline about 1% per year after age 35, it is usually not significant enough to cause a noticeable drop in libido for most healthy men. Instead, the biggest influence on a man's sex drive during this time often comes from outside the bedroom. The pressures of a demanding job, the financial stress of a mortgage, and the exhaustion that comes with raising young children can all take a toll. Suddenly, finding the time and energy for sex can become the real challenge. So, even if the biological desire is there, life's responsibilities can become major roadblocks, making emotional connection and intentionality more important than ever. Now, what happens when men reach their 50s and beyond? There's a common myth that sex drive just disappears, but that's far from the truth. Many men continue to enjoy a vibrant and fulfilling sex life well into their senior years, especially if they maintain good physical and mental health. However, it's undeniable that some changes occur. Erectile dysfunction, or ED, does become more common, but it's crucial to understand that age itself isn't the direct cause. More often, ED in this age group is linked to other health conditions that become more prevalent with age, such as diabetes, heart disease, or high blood pressure. The medications used to treat these conditions can also impact sexual function. The key takeaway here is that a healthy lifestyle, good diet, regular exercise, and managing stress is one of the most powerful tools a man has for maintaining his sexual health and desire as he gets older. Now, let's shift our focus to the ups and downs of female sexual desire, which follows a very different and often more complex path. In their 20s, women are at their peak fertility. You might assume this means their sex drive is also at its peak, but that's not always the case. For many women, their 20s are a time of figuring things out: their bodies, their careers, and what they truly want in a partner and in life. While the biological capacity for reproduction is high, desire can be influenced by relationship status, self-confidence, and stress. In fact, some research suggests that for many women, desire doesn't really hit its stride until a bit later. It is a period where psychological and emotional factors often play a much larger role in libido than pure biology. Interestingly, many experts consider a woman's 30s and early 40s to be her sexual prime. Why is this? Some studies have found that women between the ages of roughly 27 and 45 report having more frequent and intense sexual fantasies and are often having more sex than at other life stages. There are a few theories behind this. Psychologically, women in this age range often have greater self-confidence and a better understanding of their own bodies and what brings them pleasure. They're often more comfortable communicating their needs to a partner. Biologically, some scientists theorize this could be a last evolutionary push for reproduction before fertility begins to decline more sharply. Whatever the reason, for many women, this decade is a time of sexual awakening and empowerment. Of course, we can't talk about a woman's life journey without mentioning pregnancy and childbirth, which bring about massive changes. Hormones go on a roller coaster ride. During the second trimester of pregnancy, for instance, a surge in hormones and increased blood flow to the pelvic region can actually lead to a significant spike in libido for some women. However, the opposite can also be true. The fatigue, nausea of the first trimester, anxiety about the future, and the physical discomforts of late pregnancy can completely extinguish desire. After childbirth, the challenges continue. Exhaustion from caring for a newborn, hormonal shifts, body image concerns, and postpartum recovery can all put sex on the back burner. It's a period that requires immense patience, communication, and understanding from both partners. So what happens in the 50s and beyond for women? This stage is defined by one major biological event: menopause. The decline in estrogen can lead to physical changes like vaginal dryness, which can make intercourse uncomfortable, and a direct decrease in libido. Other symptoms like hot flashes, night sweats, sleep disturbances, and mood swings can also drain a woman's energy and interest in sex. However, it's not all negative. Many women also report feeling a new sense of sexual freedom during this time. With the worry of pregnancy gone and children often grown and out of the house, there's more privacy and less pressure. For many, this new chapter allows them to redefine their sexuality on their own terms, focusing more on intimacy, pleasure, and connection, rather than performance or procreation. It's really important to stress that while hormones like testosterone and estrogen are key players, they don't tell the whole story. Sex drive is not solely dependent on them. You could have a person with clinically low testosterone levels who still enjoys a healthy sex drive, while someone with high levels might struggle with low libido. Why? Because our mental and emotional health, the quality of our relationships, our stress levels, and our overall physical health are often much more powerful drivers of desire. Feeling connected to your partner, feeling good about yourself, and managing life's stresses are just as important as what your hormones are doing. A loving, supportive relationship can boost desire at any age, while conflict and emotional distance can extinguish it, regardless of your hormonal profile. So, if you're experiencing a change in your sex drive that's causing you concern, what should you do? The most important step is to not ignore it. A significant and persistent change in libido can sometimes be a sign of an underlying health condition that needs attention, like a thyroid issue, depression, or heart disease. The best course of action is to talk to a doctor or a healthcare professional. They can help you figure out the root cause. A good doctor will look at the whole picture: your physical health, your mental state, your lifestyle, and your relationships. Depending on the cause, treatment options can range from simple lifestyle adjustments, like improving your diet and exercise, to therapy or counseling, and in some cases, medical interventions like hormone therapy or other medications. The key is to seek help and remember that you have options. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into how our desires change over a lifetime. I hope this has been insightful and helps you understand your own journey a little better. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our future content. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next video.